Alright, my name's Piper, and this is my What History Means to Me project. I'm a junior at Polaris. Okay, first, for my primary source, I chose the World War I propaganda posters. Some background information about World War I is that it began in July 1914, and it was centered in Europe, and it all started with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And the way that America got involved in the war was, there was a lot of unrestricted submarine warfare going on, and that's how we got our supplies to America. So it was kind of a big deal that we needed to be included in the war. And a lot of the propaganda posters, here I have some, were based around rationing food, because they were trying to ration food for the soldiers in the war. And a lot of the other posters were for recruiting soldiers and naval men. So, yeah, there's that. That's what a lot of the posters were centered around, and that was a big way to get their point across to the media. Okay, next I'll do my historical idea. A big idea that we've been discussing in class is the idea of rebellion. Basically, the definition of a rebellion is a refusal of obedience or order, and that was kind of a big deal in the beginning of America, because that's how we got our independence from the British. If we didn't rebel, then we'd all be British, I guess. And yeah, that's a historical idea. Okay, lastly, I have my historical figure, and for my historical figure I chose E.E. Cummings, because he's my favorite poet, American poet. People always wonder what the E.E. stands for. It's Edward Estlin, just so you guys know. Edward Estlin Cummings was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and in 1894, and he started writing poems in 1904. He attended Harvard, graduated from Harvard, and this guy was a pretty intelligent dude, and his writing is so interesting to me and other people because he experimented really radically with form and punctuation and spelling and syntax, and that was kind of his signature style, and I think it's really cool. And he's just a very influential poet, and he really appeals to youth because he talked a lot about war and violence and sex, and teenagers like that. So, and also in 1962 he was the second most widely read poet in the US, next to Robert Frost, so a lot of people like him. I have a poem I can read. I'll read my favorite last stanzas. Okay. This is Somewhere I've Never Traveled Gladly Beyond. And this is just a little excerpt of it. Nothing which we are to perceive in this world equals the power of your intense fragility, whose texture compels me with the color of its countries, rendering death and forever with each breathing. I do not know what it is about you that closes and opens. Only something in me understands that the voice of your eyes is deeper than all roses. Nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands. I really like that. And lastly, what history means to me personally. I guess history is just a big deal. It's important to learn in school because it's happening all around us all the time. And I'm a part of history, even just making this video, and our class is a part of history, and I don't know, it's just really important that we study it and try not to repeat the bad parts of history, and we try to repeat the good parts of history. So, that's all.